My cousin assaulted me at my 16th birthday party, and my mom told me to get over it because these things happen. So I spent 10 months collecting evidence that destroyed his life. Growing up in a struggling Hispanic family, I was pretty much invisible. My parents worked constantly, leaving me to deal with high school bullying alone. By 15, I had 0 friends and was eating lunch in bathroom stalls. That's when I called my cousin Derek, sobbing about how miserable my life was. He was 19 and somehow always knew what to say. We talked almost every night for weeks. Derek gave me advice about dealing with bullies, helped me see my worth. My grades improved, I stopped hiding, and I actually began caring about myself again. When my 16th birthday came around, Mom insisted on inviting the whole extended family. I was excited to see Derek and wore a cute dress, feeling confident for the first time in months. The party was going well until Derek arrived smelling like alcohol. When he hugged me, it lasted too long with his hands lingering on my waist. Throughout the night, he kept finding excuses to stand close, brushing his fingers against my leg under the table. Every time it happened, I told myself I was overreacting. When I went to my bedroom to grab a sweater, Derek followed me. Before I could close the door, he was there, trapping me against the wall close enough that I could smell tobacco on his breath. I froze completely as his lips pressed against mine and his hands traveled down my back. My survival instincts kicked in, and I screamed before kicking him between the legs. As he stumbled backward, I ran outside and immediately told my mom what happened. I expected her to protect me, to get angry, anything. Instead, she just sighed and pinched the bridge of her nose. "Honey, you're a woman now. These things happen," she said, like it was obvious. My stomach twisted, and I ended up throwing up birthday cake in the toilet, spending the rest of my 16th birthday curled up on the cold bathroom floor. The next morning brought worse news. Derek's sister was having a baby, so he'd be moving in with us. When I looked shocked, Mom reminded me to let it go and not hold grudges. I nodded and agreed, not because I wasn't furious, but because lying awake that night, I'd realized only one thing would bring me joy: seeing him suffer, and living with him would make that 10 times easier. The day Derek moved in was horrific. When I finally had to leave my room, Derek was waiting with that same smug smile. "Hey, birthday girl, silent treatment, we're roomies now." He reached out and tucked hair behind my ear. I flinched so hard I banged my head against the wall. That's when I decided to start documenting everything. I created a password-protected file and began recording every interaction. I bought a door stopper and started carrying my phone with the voice recorder ready. Everything changed the night my parents worked late. Derek had accidentally burned pizza, forcing me out of my room. While I cleaned his mess, he blocked the hallway. "Always hiding. What are you so afraid of?" When I tried to leave, he stepped closer. "I was drunk on your birthday. I made a mistake. Can't we move past it?" When I called it assault, he laughed. "Don't be so dramatic. It was just a kiss." Derek's face changed, the fake friendliness disappearing. "No one's going to believe you anyway. Your mom already thinks you're making it up." That's when I remembered my phone had been recording everything. I pulled it out and held it up. "Or I'll show everyone this recording of you admitting what you did." Derek lunged for my phone, but I ducked and ran for the front door without shoes, not stopping until I reached the convenience store. The recording had saved properly, hearing Derek's voice clearly admitting he'd kissed me. Over the following weeks, I continued gathering proof. When Derek passed out drunk with his phone unlocked, I found texts with his friend boasting about pursuing his little cousin, who was playing hard to get. I screenshot everything. One morning when Derek was drunk, I pretended to warm up to him, recording him making inappropriate comments. When Derek realized I'd been recording, he grabbed my arm hard enough to bruise and shoved me into the coffee table. "If you tell anyone about this, I'll make your life hell," he threatened. But I already had everything I needed. I called Taylor from school, who'd mentioned a support group for teens with family problems. She met me at the community center, where I finally told someone everything. The counselor immediately called police and child services. Officer Rodriguez and social worker Patricia took my statement, photographed my bruises, and copied all my evidence. They said I'd been smart to document everything. When we returned to my apartment with police escort, Dad was furious at Derek. "Get out of my house now," he told Derek, who stormed out. I stayed with Taylor's family for 2 weeks while the case moved forward. Derek was charged with assault of a minor and physical battery. The evidence I'd collected made all the difference. 6 months later, Derek took a plea deal. He got probation and had to register as an offender. My relationship with my parents is still complicated. Dad and I are closer now. Mom is harder to forgive, but she's trying. The nightmares haven't completely stopped, and I still flinch when people touch me unexpectedly. But I'm not that terrified girl hiding in her bedroom anymore. I found my voice, and I'm never going to be silent again.